Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for your very inspiring opening remarks and the support for my work as Secretary General. And I'm very much impressed and moved by this participation of distinguished participants here. And I'd like to welcome distinguished honorable ministers who are taking this podium, and I'd like to also welcome all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, and the women leaders. 1 year ago, I launched a campaign calling on people and governments the world over to unite to end violence against women and girls. We called it Unite to End Violence Against Women, and Unite We Must. It is sometimes said that women are weavers and men are too often warriors. Women bear and care for our children. In much of the world, they plant the crops that feed us. In fact, they weave the fabric of our society. Violence against women is thus an attack on all of us, on the foundation of our civilization. It destroys health and perpetuates poverty. It strikes against equality and empowerment. It contributes to the spread of HIV/AIDS and other diseases. Worldwide, 1 in 5 women suffer rape or attempted rape. In some countries, as many as 1 in 3 women are beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused. This is alarming and shocking. This must stop. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I have just returned from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. There I visited the Health Africa Hospital in Goma. As you know, this sexual violence and abuse is prevalent all throughout the country. I met a young woman there in the hospital. She was just 18 years old. I'm not going to mention her name because of confidentiality. Fleeing the fighting that destroyed her village, she was raped by 4 soldiers at gunpoint. Doctors at the hospital can repair her wounds, but can even doctors heal her soul? She suffers not only from physical injury, she also bears the curse of stigma. She has been ostracized from her village and her family, from a false sense of so-called shame to her family. I was shocked by what she told me. I was saddened almost beyond expression. I was also very, very angry. These women need medical care. They need to be accepted back into their communities and families. Above all, they need to be able to live free of fear. I spoke forcefully about this when I met President Kabila of DRC. I spoke to the commander of the Congolese forces in the eastern DRC, as well as with the governor and the local authorities. I spoke about it to everyone I met, and I will keep speaking out against such unspeakable atrocities. When I was meeting President Kabila, the fact is that 80% of these sexual violences are perpetrated by the other armed groups of rebels. But I told President Kabila, that doesn't make any excuse. As a leader of that country, a sovereign leader of a sovereign country, wherever this sexual violence may happen, then he must be responsible as a leader of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, violence against women is an abomination. I would like to call it crime against humanity. It stands against everything in the United Nations Charter. The consequences of violence go beyond the visible and immediate. Death, injury, medical cost, and lost employment are but the tip of an iceberg. The impact on women and girls, their families, their communities, and their societies in terms of shattered lives and livelihoods is beyond calculation. Far too often, these crimes go unpunished. Perpetrators walk free. No country, no culture, no woman, young or old, is immune. Women have been speaking out against the violence and supporting each other in opposing it for a long time. Often they have found the voice through the work of the United Nations system. Increasingly, men are speaking out. Global examples include the White Ribbon Campaign and the V-Day campaign's V-Men counterpart. In many countries, at workshops and community meetings, men are teaching other men that there is another way, that real men don't hit women, let alone rape them. That real men respect women. Allow me to tell a story, a brief story from a gender workshop in a rural community in South Africa. An older man, a leader of the community, who had sat quietly through these proceedings, raised his hand to speak. The facilitators, moderators' heart sank because she was not know what he would say as a leader of the community. He knew this man, this leader, had the power to sink this workshop. Older men are usually, normally in Africa, deeply respected in rural communities. The facilitator worried that the man was going to deliver a lecture on how it was against African culture to think of men and women are equal, that giving women power could divide families. He said, "Yesterday when I got home," the man began, "I called my sons, I called my wife, and I explained what we are going to do, what he learned from this workshop. He told his children that things had to change now. No longer could their mother come home tired from a long day of work and be expected to cook and clean and dishwashing. From now on," he told his children, "you have to start cleaning and tidying the house. And you have to start. You have to cook, but I will do my dishwashing. I will wash dish." This is the point of changing, moment of changing. The point of the workshop was that we are not born knowing what it means to be a man. We learn it from the people around us. And because it is something society has decided on, it can also be changed by society. If society has made such a system, then society should change it. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let me be very blunt. We must unite. Violence against women cannot be tolerated in any form, in any context, in any circumstances, by any political leader or by any government. The time to change is now. Only by standing together and speaking out can we make a difference. On this International Women's Day, let us resolve to do that. And thank you very much for your commitment. Thank you.